Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is trying to make sure that every day of your life, you're trying to break out of the same old that you do all the time, okay? Whether or not it's a guitar lick, whether or not it's a movement on the guitar, whether or not it's a guitar scale, whether or not it's just a position of the guitar. One of the biggest examples I tend to show students a lot is because everybody, just about every guitar player on the planet that's been playing for a while knows this first minor pentatonic position, this A minor pentatonic position. And so many of them wind up learning that position and they don't learn anything else. They just stay there. And so their world, their guitar playing world, is just this same old, right? Same licks, same phrases, same playing, same picking, same everything, and they might learn a song, but that song uses other things, and they can learn those things. They can learn that song, but they can't apply it to their normal, their everyday playing. And so what I want you to think about is I want you to think about breaking out of the box, whatever that means to you. That box might be visual, right? Memorizing chords, memorizing scales, memorizing concepts on your guitar. It might be theoretical, right? Learning some elements of music that make you think differently about what you are seeing on your guitar, which can be really important. Technical is another really big one. Breaking out of that box, being able to have chops that you didn't have before, learning guitar licks that you've never played before, learning guitar techniques, whether it's string skipping or arpeggios or octaves or open string licks, or there's just a million, tapping, there's a million different things that you could do, but breaking outside the box of normalcy that you do on a day-to-day basis. That's what I want you to think about, and not just, again, if you think about it, for me, it's always either it's a visual concept that I'm trying to break out of, whether it's seeing a scale or learning a new scale or something like that, or a chord shape or whatever it might be. The next one is theoretical. What do I understand? And how can I use that understanding in my playing? If I'm just moving around, which many guitar players do, if I'm just moving around and I never understand anything about what I'm doing, it's going to last me a while. I'm going to get away with that for a while, but at some point, I'm going to start realizing, or my band is going to start realizing, or my audience is going to start realizing that there's really no depth to what I'm doing. I'm just moving around. And for me as a guitar player, that's not enough. Not whether it's a band thing or a recording songs thing. It's a personal thing. It's just not enough for me. I want to have some knowledge of what I'm trying to do to make what I'm doing rise to a new level. Okay, and then the third category, of course, is the technical category, which can be a beast for people trying to learn how to pick more articulate, pick cleaner, pick faster, chord cleaner. Again, everything on the planet isn't about how fast you can play, but it kind of is too, because it's not that you want to play fast all the time. It's not that. But the more articulate you are, the more things that you can do, the more options you have, right? So if you're trying to jam over a song that's running at 160 beats a minute and you can't play eighth notes, or you can't play whatever it is, triplets or whatever it is, they just don't exist to you. You can't do that. And so it is a limitation. It's not because you want to shred all night long, although that can be cool too. It's that it's a limitation, right? If I get up and I walk out of this studio and I can only walk a certain speed, it's going to take me longer to get from point A to point B. Where sometimes I feel like running, sometimes I feel like getting to wherever it is I'm going to go a little bit quicker. It's not a bad thing, but to play fast, it's just learning how to play fast within the realm of what's comfortable for you and what's musical, right? And again, that's different for everybody. Everybody's take on what music is different. I'm just saying that if all you could do is pick this speed, if that's all the faster you could pick, it would be a limitation. You could put up a wall and say, no, that's all the faster I want to pick. That's all I need because it's blues. You've built yourself a wall. You just have. That's all that it is. You can look at it any way you want, but that's what you've done. So it would be nice to be able to pick faster than that, to be able to do more things. And there is no limitation to that. The limitation is your limitation. It's whatever you want to do with it. But technique is essential to our guitar playing. Whether it's licks, whether it's bending, whether it's vibrato, whether it's picking, it could be a million different things, but it is a limitation. And the less limitations we have, the more availability we have to learn songs, to borrow information, to use that information, to to play with confidence and play impressive or whatever it might be when we go out on stage. I want people to like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I want to do things that people go, wow, that was really neat. I don't have to do the same thing a million times, but it sure would be nice to do things like that to get that acknowledgement. I mean, it's nice to have. So breaking out of that box of normalcy is something I really want you to think about. And there's a million different ways to do it. So again, what I want you to do is take a piece of paper and a pencil and write down visualization. And write down some things about what you see on your fretboard and what you think you could get better at. Again, if you were to tear down those walls of confidence, or those walls that make you feel good about yourself, if you were to break those down and really look at yourself, what could you do better about your fretboard and your visualization of your fretboard? Okay. Second thing, of course, is the theoretical aspect of things, understanding things, right? When you go to play a G chord, you know how to play a G chord. Do you know what you're playing? Do you know why? And do you have any idea why that would matter? And if it doesn't matter to you, it's okay. But if you're at that part in your playing, that spot in your playing where you've learned scales and you've learned how to play licks and you're doing all that, maybe now it's time to start learning how these two things, these chords and these scales, are actually fitting together to create decent melodies, things like that. And then, of course, the third one, which is pretty much important for all of us, is the technical level. What can you get better at? Can your bends be better? Can your vibrato be better? Right? Can your sliding be better? Can you learn some cooler licks? Is there some other stuff in there that you could do? Is your picking okay? Is your down picking okay? Do you play cleanly? There's just so many different things that you could do. Maybe you could even break out of the box of your guitar tone, right? Change the volume, change the distortion, change the mid-range, add a delay, take out a delay. I mean, explore things and see what kinds of cool stuff that you can come up with that are inspiring to you, that bring you to a new level.